Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Today, y'all, is the final stretch before we start seeds. I got one more thing to do, and I thought I would turn on the camera and show you exactly what that is, because this one step is going to save me so much time during the next 12 weeks of seed starting season. And so I want to make sure that you tune in and you adopt this practice if you want to save some time and you want to save your sanity as you're starting seeds this upcoming season for the garden. So if you're brand new to me, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee, which is in Zone 7B. And I'm glad that you are here. If it's your first time, please say hello in the comments. Let me know what state or country you're coming in from so I can say hello back to you. So I am an avid, passionate gardener. This will be my 6th year gardening, and before that I had never put my hands in dirt. So everything that you see has been my journey that I have learned over time, and I'm still learning. And one of the things that I am strongly passionate about is seed starting, because it has been one of the most used skills that has really taken me to the next level in my gardening journey. It's helped me save money. It's helped me to grow things that I otherwise would not be able to grow. And it just saves a lot of time and money on the back end. And so if you have never started your own seeds, I want you to take the challenge and start your own seeds. But don't worry, I have a solution for you if you don't know what to do. Many people are intimidated by seed starting, and I completely understand, because when I first attempted to start seeds, I think it was my 2nd year of gardening, it was a complete and epic fail. Complete, epic, and utter fail. So I have been there, and I know how frustrating and disappointing that can be. And I just had to take my little happy self on to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy me some transplants, because my efforts at seed starting did not go well. Well, I am actually doing a seed starting workshop. And so if you have never started seeds before and you want to learn this skill, I want you to sign up for this workshop. If you have tried before and they didn't quite make it out to the garden, I want you to sign up for this workshop. It is going to be February the 8th from 1 to 3 p.m. It will be virtual. And so no matter where you are, you can tune in. I will be live. It is not pre-recorded. You're going to get me live on February the 8th to be able to walk you through point by point how to not only start your seeds, but how to grow them and maintain them when you bring them in the house, and then how to put them back into the garden so that they can grow for the summer. I'm going to talk about everything in between, your setup, what you need, where to buy seeds. Like, there is nothing off limits when it comes to seed starting. And so if you know you need that skill, you need that knowledge, then I want to make sure that you sign up for the class. The link will be in the first comment down below. So it's the seed starting workshop, completely virtual. Make sure that you get in there, okay? Make sure that you get in there. Now, for those of you, if you're just tuning in to the very first video, or if you've been here, let me kind of bring you forward to where we are. Right now, we are about to start seeds in the next few days. All I'm waiting on is to do this thing that I'm gonna do in the video today, and I'm waiting for a little bit of a warmer temperature. That's it. But if I wanted to just get myself all the way together, could I go out there in my greenhouse and start seeds? Yes. But I kind of don't want to be bundled up with ice and in 20 below weather. So that's the only reason why I am waiting. It has been crazy temperatures here in Tennessee. As you guys know, there was a winter storm that came through the south and I think the southeast. And so our temperatures have been wind chill factor below 0. Y'all, we're not used to that. We're not used to that. And so it has been quite frigid. And so as soon as it warms up, your girl's gonna be out there starting seeds. But before we do that, we gotta do this next step. This is something that I've been doing for the last 3 years. And let me tell you, it saves a lot of time and a lot of energy. And so one of the things that I will be doing as I start seeds is I will be doing 11 weeks of seed starting. Every single week, I will be on YouTube. Every single week, I will post a video and show you what I'm starting for the week. And that seed starting challenge is I want you to start seeds every single week. Okay? And there is a reason why. And as we get into the challenge, I'll talk about why it's important to start seeds at the right time. What I have found, people who say, my stuff don't work, I can't garden, It is usually something very simple that if you tweak that one thing, all of a sudden you will have success. And many people don't have success with their seeds because, one, you're starting at the wrong time. Some of you are in my area in Tennessee and you already started your tomatoes. Why? Now, unless you have a greenhouse that you are going to be able to put your tomatoes in the next 2 months, which will be like the first part of March, then you really shouldn't have been starting your tomatoes already. Why? Their timing matters, okay? Timing matters. I won't get into that today, but if you're interested, then make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you tune in to all the videos that are coming out every single week, okay? Now, one of the things that I'm starting with today is timing. And so for the next 11 weeks, I will be starting seeds every single week. Now for me, I typically start seeds on Sundays because that is the best day for me. And when I don't do it on Sundays, then I'll find another day to do it during the week. But for me, generally, that is going to be the best day that I kind of knock out and do my seeds for the week. So what we're going to do today is get set up to do our seeds every single week. But first thing that we're going to do is I have my printout that I use from the seed starting calculator. Let me grab it. So I talked about how timing matters. And so for the next 11 weeks, I'm not guessing about what seeds I'm going to start each week. I'm not doing any, meeny, miny, mo. I'm not saying, oh, you know what? This week I feel like tomatoes. Next week I feel like cucumbers. It is none of that. It is strictly based on when I'm supposed to start the seed, based on my zone, based on my estimated last frost date. And so I have a printout here that you can see. And on this printout, it has everything that I'm going to grow. And as you can see, you might not see it very clearly, but it has dates. So it's telling me what date to start that seed. Okay. And so how did I get this? I have a seed starting calculator. You can, access the seed starting calculator. Is $6.95. It's in our shop. It is an instant digital download. If you are tech savvy, meaning you can operate a computer, you can follow and read directions, then you want to grab the seed starting calculator if you don't have it. All you do is put in your estimated last frost date and all of the dates will populate for you. So I'm doing the exact same thing that I've been telling you guys to do. And so all I did was I printed it out. Okay, that is all I have done. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to start to separate what I'm going to do for the next 11 weeks and get it set up. Let me show you the first example. Before I show you the first step, I'm going to get just a little bit more organized. And so what we're doing is we're going to be starting seeds for the summer gardening season. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these cases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put away the things that are for the fall and for the winter because we're not starting those seeds anymore. Now I have a few that I'm going to do for the spring and I'll talk about that, but I'm going to make sure that I only have out my summer seeds. So that way that'll kind of lessen the clutter on the table and that'll make it a lot easier for us to kind of move through this rather quickly about how we're going to get set up for the next 11 weeks. So let me take some time and do that right quick to make sure, and my cases are not perfectly separated by summer and fall, but for the most part they are. So I think we'll be able to put away at least a few cases and get them squared away. Many people will comment or ask me a question about, okay, Barbara, how are you able to grow so much food? How are you able to manage all the things that you have on your plate? And y'all, number one, it's the grace of God. But also, it is because I am very committed to being as organized as possible and being intentional and efficient. Now, on this particular day when I'm doing this, I do not want to do this. Let me just be very clear. So just because I like organization doesn't mean that I'm always chomping at the bit to do it and that I'm excited about it. Y'all, I've been putting this project off for a week and I finally just got in here to get it done and I had to do some self-talk. So I just want to be real and upfront with you that just because you see me doing it and because I naturally like order, it doesn't mean that all the time I'm wanting to do it. I particularly did not want to do that on this particular day. But I know that if I don't do this step, that I will have more insane moments. I will lose way more time in the next 11 weeks if I don't go ahead and do this now. when I do this process of getting organized and getting my seeds laid out by week, it saves me so much time. My schedule is already busy, but as the season starts to ramp up, as we get closer and closer to the summer gardening season, especially once the temperature starts to break and we have nice temperatures outside that we can go back and work outside, like in the 60s, y'all, it's all hands on deck and the weeks start to fly by. And so I am dedicating, usually an hour or two on Sundays to start my seeds, right? And so this method helps me to be able to do that efficiently. You will see after this process how it's going to be set up and how efficient it's going to be for me over the next 11 weeks. Now, this may not be your cup of tea, but what I will say is have some semblance of order and organization before you start your seeds, because otherwise you're gonna spend time that's unnecessary. And when you spend time that's unnecessary, you're more easily to get frustrated and stop the whole process altogether and get behind. So this is just a tip, word to the wise. How do I know? Been there, done that. Okay, so I cleaned up some, but then it reminded me I need to keep some of these out until I finish the process and have everything laid out. And then I can kind of put some stuff up. But I did put 2 or 3 cases up. But here's what we're going to do. And this is my process. It may sound over the top, but let me tell you, this works. This works, and it's going to come together so quickly. So I'm using my seed starting calculator spreadsheet, and it gave me all the dates. So for me, I'm going to start my seeds 11 weeks before the first frost days, when I'm going to first start my seeds. Normally I start at 12 weeks, but 12 weeks is kind of like today. And so by the time the temperature is going to drop and I can get out there in 2 or 3 days, it's going to be at the 11-week mark. So we're just going to start 11 weeks before my estimated last frost date. So for me, my estimated last frost date is around April the 20th. That's the date we're using. And so if you back up 11 weeks, that's going to be when I'm going to start my seeds, which is going to be in the next 3 or 4 days. And so I look on my sheet and look and say, what seeds have to be started at 11 weeks before the last frost date? Because look, it's right here. And so I have that list, and that's going to be dill, eucalyptus, lavender, rosemary, and thyme. Now, those are, I'm pulling the things from the 12-week list as well as the 11-week list, because remember, I'm going to miss the 12-week window, but it's the same concept. So dill, lavender, eucalyptus, rosemary, and thyme. So what I'm going to do is I found those cases, right? Here's my thyme. Here's my oregano. Did I say oregano? Oh, I didn't say oregano, but I meant to say oregano. I pulled it because I knew I was going to need it. Oregano, dill, right? My lavender and eucalyptus are in my house in the freezer because I keep them cold for cold stratification. And so all I'm going to do is I have these 3 right here. I have a Post-it note that says 11 weeks with the date. I'm going to take this Post-it note and put it on top of these seeds right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that for every week, and I will just have stacks. So the magic is that when it's time for me to plant or to start my seeds, and it's February the 1st, and it's 11 weeks before the last frost date, I'm going to come out here to my sunroom. Everything's going to be laid out, and I'm going to pick up this stack right here. Now, what I will write on the Post-it note is eucalyptus and lavender. So that'll remind me to grab that from the house on my way out to the greenhouse. Y'all, this is a game changer. It takes a few minutes, but once you have it, you have it. And so every single week, because as the weeks go on, it's just going to get busier and busier, right? There's some weeks where we have lots and lots of seeds to start. I don't need and don't have the time to be going through trying to figure out, okay, where are my pepper seeds, where are my tomato seeds, and going through all these cases. I'm doing that work now so that when the season starts, to start seeds, and it's boom, 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 I come out here, I grab this stack, I go out to my tunnel, I start my seeds, I bring this back in, and I put them back in their case. Just that simple. Game changer. So let me show you one other example. The next week is the 10-week mark, and that's when I'll do echinacea, petunias, lettuce, and things like that. So all I'm going to do is find those cases, And then I have a Post-it note that I'll write 10 weeks on. And that'll go on top of the cases. And it'll be all lined up just like that. So I'm about to get down to the business and do this. And I'm telling you, it saves me so much time. I definitely want you to try this or some variation of this as you get ready to start your seeds for the upcoming gardening season. So I ended up getting to this the next day because I got called away and never made it back out here. But I'm out here the next morning to finish this project up. And what I thought I would do this time, I went ahead and made all of my Post-it notes and just kind of laid them out. So I did one for 11 weeks, 10 weeks, 9 weeks, so forth and so on, and just laid those out on the table. And then as I went through my cases, I was able to pull the cases out that I know that I would need for the summer gardening season. And then I could just lay them under the corresponding weeks. That seemed to work out a little bit better than me trying to just, okay, let me focus on week 11 and let me go find those seeds. Now, when I only had 2 or 3 cases, no big deal. But now that I have like, what did I say? 8 cases, then it's a challenge. And like I said, they're not all perfectly separated by fall and winter crops because I have so many seeds now. And then I have, some things that I've added in terms of herbs and flowers and miscellaneous and things like that. So I clear the table. I start to write out all of my Post-it notes, and then I'm going to lay those out. As I made this slight adjustment in terms of laying all the things out, it just reminded me how as things change in your garden, your systems and processes may have to change. So again, I've been doing the same concept. I think this is my 4th year doing it. Well, this is the year that I actually did it this way by laying it out. So this is just a slight tweak and variation, but because I have so many seeds, it works out perfectly. And so the system that I'm using, I don't want you to get hung up on the way that I'm doing it. I want you to get hung up on the fact that I have a system. And so whatever works for you in your brain, I would say definitely do that. What I don't want is for you to go into your seed starting season haphazard without a plan and kind of flying by the seat of your pants, because typically how that works out is you don't get all your seeds planted. You plant at the wrong time. You forget to plant something. Those are the things that happen. I just know from experience that being organized and being efficient and intentional on the front end, just because it's such a busy time of the year as we're leading up to the season, it just works out a lot better in the end. So here's the final product. You can see I have a row of seeds going all the way from 2 weeks all the way to 11 weeks. You can see that some stacks are bigger than another, but it is done. It is complete. And so now the first thing that I'll do will start with the 11 weeks, and then I will just work myself backwards every single week as I start seeds. Okay, friends, we got it done. Check. Feels so much better. So I'll tidy this. I got it all kind of on one side now. I'll kind of spread it out. And so what will happen after this is that as each week comes up and it's time for me to start seeds, I will come out here and take a look at what's upcoming for that week. I'll grab that sack. I'll go into the greenhouse. Now, you can see that there's going to be some weeks that's going to be a heavier lift than others. Because I've been doing seeds for 3 or 4 years, I kind of know my heavy weeks. So week 8 is always a heavy week. Usually 8, 7, and 4, if I'm not mistaken, are usually my heavy weeks where I'm doing hundreds and hundreds of seeds because of the things that need to be planted around that time. Tomatoes, peppers, flowers and things like that. So definitely that will be coming up. But then also what I will do each week, especially for the heavy weeks. So for example, let's say it's week 8 and I need to seed start. I have a ton of peppers to start, eggplant, tomatoes, things like that. I actually separate my peppers into what I'm going to grow in the greenhouse versus what I'm going to grow out in the outside garden. And I do my tomatoes the same way because those are the crops that I'm doing, 100 plants or 75 plants easily. And so because the timing is different of when I'm going to plant those things out, I start the seeds based on that timing. And then also what I will do is on that particular week leading up to that big week, like a week 8, then I will further determine which seeds I'm gonna actually start, because y'all, I got tons and tons of pepper seeds, but I will identify, okay, am I doing spicy peppers, non-spicy peppers? Okay, which non-spicy peppers, and then how many? I don't do that today. I just kind of lay it all out so that I know week 8 is greenhouse peppers, week 7 is garden peppers. And I'll have a mix of both spicy and non-spicy. But I know the varieties that are specific for the greenhouse. So those are in stack for the week 8. And then those that are going in the field, in the outside garden, will be for week 7. Also, what this does is it gives me a runway and a time to course correct if I need to. So let's say that week 8 germination does not go well, or let's say that something happens and I lose some of my seeds. By me starting at the right time, then I also have time to catch up in case something doesn't go right. But let's say I waited and started peppers at week 4. I don't have a lot of play in my schedule or from a timing perspective to catch up if those seeds go bad. So that's why timing matters. But now that we have it all laid out, I know exactly what I'm doing week by week. Literally, y'all, I will come out here, grab my stack, go out to the garden, sow those seeds, bring that back in. Then there may be some seeds, I'll usually leave it on the table for another week or so in case I need to re-sow some seeds, or it's gonna be sown 2 weeks in a row, things like that. But again, when you're doing thousands of seeds, to me, this is the best method to do it, to save time and to save sanity. So I hope that this made sense. I hope that you will adopt this practice or something that works for you. Whatever you do, try to be efficient, organized, and intentional this upcoming gardening season. Let me know in the comments what's your method, what you do if you like this, if not, what you're gonna do, and let me know if this is gonna be helpful for you as you plan for your upcoming season. Also, don't forget, if you want to be part of the seed starting workshop, hit that link in the description box below or in the first comment. Y'all remember, this is all a journey. I'm glad that we get a chance to do it together. I'll see you, friend.